Well, in your consumer news, TikTok could get some extra ticks of the clock to avoid going dark. The social media app could find a lifeline in President-elect Donald Trump. Right now, it is set to be banned on Monday if it can't secure an American buyer by Sunday. Some sources say Trump is considering giving TikTok more time to cut a deal, though he has recently said he wants to keep the video sharing app alive. He did support a TikTok ban. He signed it during his first administration. Overall inflation was higher in December, but core inflation slowed for the first time in months. The overall consumer price index increased more than expected, rising to an annual rate of 2.9%. But that increase was mostly driven by gas and food prices. If you take out gas and fuel costs, the pace of price increases was actually slower. Another major retailer is heading back to bankruptcy court. Jo-Ann Fabrics is filing for Chapter 11 for the second time in less than a year. The craft store chain says slow sales and inventory troubles are forcing the move just 10 months after its first bankruptcy. While the 82-year-old retailer's stores and websites remain open, a potential buyer is already stepping forward. Gordon Brothers, the company that recently bought much of Big Lots, is showing interest. Well, tax season is just around the corner, and the IRS says January 27th is the first day the agency will start accepting and processing 2024 income tax returns. As millions of Americans start preparing to file, Ivan Rodriguez reports on what's new for this year.
This tax season, the IRS expects more than 140 million individual tax returns to be filed ahead of the April 15th federal deadline. Lisa Green Lewis with TurboTax says before getting started, there's a few things to keep in mind.
Gather your W-2s, 1099s that report your income, and then also those receipts for anything that's deductible.
Although the official deadline to file your return is in April, millions of Americans won't be up against that timeline. Your filing deadline may be different if you live or do business in a federally declared disaster area. For example, the IRS announced that Southern California wildfire victims now have until October 15th to file federal, individual, or business tax returns and make tax payments. Similarly, because of the devastation wrought by Hurricane Helene and Milton, all taxpayers in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, as well as parts of Tennessee and Virginia, have until May 1st to file their returns and pay any tax due.
I would just keep in mind if you were impacted that you could claim the casualty on your 2024 taxes.
The IRS also says its pilot direct file program will now be open in 25 states, up from 12 last year when it launched. For those eligible, it'll allow people to file their taxes directly with the IRS for free.